Universities and higher education institutions are increasingly using digital marketing strategies, particularly on social networks, as one of the main channels to promote the institution itself. Social Media Content Marketing Strategy for Higher Education workshop by Professor Jorge Garcia.
Hello, my name is Jorge Garcia. I'm from Portugal, from Polytechnic Instituto de Viana do Castelo, and I'm here at WHERE's World Higher Education Ranking Summit 2022 to present social media content marketing strategies for higher education. This is the agenda for my presentation. I will start to give a brief introduction of the concepts related with social media content marketing and all the strategies that are related with this approach. Then I will give also an overview of some consumer trends in 2022. After that, I will show some strategies that are used by universities, institutions, and colleges all over the world in the social media marketing approach. And I will also present some popular uses of these strategies in higher education. Finally, I will give some final considerations about my presentation and about the strategies that universities can do in the field of social media marketing. I will start to present the concept of content marketing. Content marketing is the strategy of creating content for social media networks, which aims through the publication and sharing of such content to create a brand reputation and improve its visibility, as well as gain more engagement with the followers, customers, students, candidates, anyone who follows our website or social media profiles. The basic principles of these strategies is to have more proximity, is to talk, entertain, and involve all the followers of the social media profiles. And with this strategy, we intend to create this kind of engagement with all the followers, and in this case of universities, with all the students and future students of the colleges or the higher education institutions. The advantage of strategy of social media content marketing is to improve the relationship with followers, with customers, with students, to increase the engagement rates with followers, to increase the visibility of the brand company, or in this case, the colleges, the universities, or the higher education institutes. Also, we can create fan followers of the brand because this kind of strategy use valuable content. So people who follow these brands, these social media profiles, are also beginning to be fan of the brand because of the type of content that they like. They like to interact, to engage, to share with your friends and colleagues. Also, an advantage of the social media content marketing strategy is the promotion of services with relevant content. It's not just an advert, it's not just a post with an ad, it's a content that can promote the brand, but in a way that people like to interact, to share with their friends. And finally, it allows to increase sales and to increase the conversion rates that can be placed in this kind of posts. The goal of a company brand present in social media networks is more than getting a greater number of reaction or shares. Nowadays, in social media, brands want to create a lasting and constant relationship with their followers or customers. For this, the type of language and content they should publish should be closer to the target audience. This means that the kind of language, the kind of posts that these brands want to share with their followers must be closer to the target, must be analyzed what is the target of the brand, what is the buyer persona of these companies, of these universities, to understand what kind of posts, what kind of content the universities should post in the social media. In this content marketing strategy, we have 9 rules to keep in mind before starting to create content for social media. The first one, as I said before, is to know the audience. It is necessary to understand who the followers of the profile are. in order to know what kind of content should be created, because there is no target exactly the same in the different social media. For example, the target of Facebook, it's a little bit different from Twitter or from Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media that we have nowadays. The second rule is to speak the same language. The way you communicate is important because it creates a positioning of the company brand. The third rule is to understand the audience. Before publishing any type of content, it is necessary to understand whether the content is relevant to the audience and it's consistent with the brand positioning. Does the audience like this type of content? Does it create interaction? Is it relevant? These are different questions that we should make before developing the content, before posting on the social media, because if there is not any kind of interaction with this post, there is no relevance on this post. It's not necessary to do a post that will not give value to the audience. Open communication, asking questions to the public, answering questions they ask in the comments, encouraging true-like reaction to comments, not deleting negative comments, helps to understand that the brand has a frank and open communication. An open communication is very important nowadays because there are a lot of brands communicating in social media, and the consumers, and also the followers of the brands have a lot of power in social media because they can comment, they can share, they can say anything about the brands nowadays in social media, in their websites, in all the places that World Wide Web has to share opinions and contents. The fifth rule is to create appropriate content. Images and text used in the content must be appropriate to the social network in which they are published. You should understand that the way we post in Facebook is very different the way we post in Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. So it's important to understand what kind of formats are used in this social media to have a better reach and a higher reach with all the followers. Images must be appealing and of a size that allows for correct viewing on all devices. And finally, on this fifth rule, text should be concise and written in a more informal way. Users have that expectation on social media networks. The sixth rule is use of video, different forms of images, emoticons, all kinds of resources that help diversify the content to capture the attention of different audiences who react differently. Not all the people react the same way as in Twitter, as Instagram. Many people like to see videos, for instance, in Facebook, but other just like to see images, text, and are not related to videos on Facebook. The seventh rule is the objectives. All content should be posted with concrete objectives like views, reactions, shares, and this will allow you to understand which content is more successful and which is not relevant to the audience. It is important to define the KPI that are involved with these strategies. So analyzing these kind of metrics, we can understand if the content is good, if it's satisfying the customer's needs, the followers' needs. So it is very important to define goals, to define objectives for each content that is posted on social media. The eighth rule is the identity. A language, visual, text, content, identity should be used that helps to maintain a relationship with the followers. Followers' expectations from the social network are based very much on the identity of the published content. Content different from what is expected leads to loss of engagement and followers. People who follow a brand, people who follow a university, a college, a higher education institute, are expecting some kind of content. That's why they started to follow this profile. If the content they are used to see is not the same they see nowadays, people react less and in the meantime can lead to a loss of engagement and followers. And finally, the ninth rule is to monitorize and measure all the performance of each published post. That will allow you to understand the engagement rate of each published content, as it will help you understand the social media usage habits of the brand's followers. Understand what are the most appropriate days, times to post the content, the number of contents posted per day, and finally, the type of content preferred by the audience. These are the 9 rules that we have to keep in mind before start to publish in social media, because it's important to have a strategy to think what are the goals that we have for these posts, and identify what are the best techniques and formats to post in each social media that we have in World Wide Web. Now I will speak about the trends of the consumers and what kind of consumer we have in 2022. The evolution and innovation and the technological innovation had led to the evolution of consumers' expectations. The consumers' expectations are a little bit different from some years ago. Nowadays, we talk about the access generation. Millennials and Generation Z value much more the access to the experience rather than ownership. This kind of people, the people from these generations, these young people, prefer to rent a house, to rent a car, to have a taxi, a Uber, to listen to a song on Spotify, watch a TV series, a movie on Netflix. They don't have the need to own the things. They don't have the need to own a house, own a car, as we did 20, 30 years ago. This generation people, the people from this generation prefer to rent, prefer to have the experience now than to wait 1 month, 1 year, 10 years to have that kind of experience. They have to they want to experience it now, so they prefer to subscribe a service, subscribe Netflix, subscribe renting model from a car, to rent a house, than to buy, to have the ownership of these goods, of these assets, because they are not worried about to have things, but to experience things. Also, the user behavior, it's much more, it's a little bit different than we have some years ago. Users won't care about your website, social media content, your app, unless it can give them some benefit in one of 3 ways: solve the problem, address a need, or do something to make them feel better. Users from these generations want to solve a problem. If it's a problem of information or entertainment, they want to solve that problem or address a need without caring what website or social media or app they are using. They want to solve their problem, they address their need, so or have a nice experience with that content. So they are not keen to be just on website, on a social media profile. They can follow any profile if it solves that problem, that need they have. 80% of young people prefer to spend their money on experience, not things. As I said, on this study of Harris Group, it was identified that 4 of 5 people prefer to spend their money on experience, not things. And we have to understand that the big expenders that will expend money and consume, and the big consumers of the next few years will be the young people of today. And the young people of today prefer to subscribe a service, prefer to rent something, and not to have things. So it's important to understand, when we are developing a strategy for any business, that nowadays young people want to have the things right now and want to have a good experience with anything they use. So it's important to understand that nowadays it's not about the device they are using, it's not about just of the content, it's all about the experience they have with the product, with the service, and with the content they are experience. So that's why nowadays we speak about user experience instead of user interface, because the products, the content, the applications, the websites must be useful, usable, desirable, accessible, and credible. And also the content should match user expectations. When any customer of nowadays, any consumer, any user assess a website, assess a social media profile, assess an application, they have an expectation, and most of these kind of expectations are related with content. They are expecting to see some content. They search on Google, they search on social media, and if the content not match that expectations, they will abandon, they will exit the website, the social media profile, the application, because they are expecting content they are searching, they are looking for. User experience is nowadays very important, because people want to be satisfied with the apps, with the content, with all the devices they are using. So the experience is very important. In these two images, on the left we have an example of an application where the user, to fill a text box with numbers, has to click on this button to switch to a number keypad, and on the left the application it shows for instance the keyboard with just numbers. That is more satisfying for users. People like to have a good experience, and this small example with a keyboard adapted for the text box, it's much more satisfying for users, and they feel a very good experience with app because they don't have to click in a small button to change the keyboard. This is just a little example how the users are nowadays. All of us are very lazy with the apps. We want everything for now. We don't want to make unnecessary steps to assess content, to do some task on an app, on the social media, on a website, because we have a lot of apps, we have a lot of websites, a lot of social media content that we can use instead of these contents that are not prepared for a good experience for all users. Now I will start to talk about the strategies. Nowadays, 58% of aspiring students use social media to research schools, to research universities, research higher education institutes, college, and 61% say they are at least somewhat influenced by their social research. So most of users nowadays, before applying to a university, search everything about these universities. So it's very important to have good content on social media, because all of our candidates, or most of our candidates, will search in social media about our institution. So now I will present some examples of social media content marketing strategies that are used nowadays by higher education institutions, like promoting values and achievements, connecting with alumni, use storytelling to help students see what is like at your institution, user-generated content, parents and families, sharing important updates in real-time content marketing, integrating the digital strategy with the offline strategy, and finally, using digital influencers or alumni influencers. I will try to show the first example. That is an example where future candidates, future students of universities can picture their future at the university. This is very important because they want to see what are the facilities, how is the campus they are going to experience in the next few years. So it's very important to show them images, photos of the facilities and of the labs, everything that is related with the university. So a showcase of the college life with virtual tours and students takeovers is very important, because students like to see this kind of content, because they understand a little bit more how the university will be, and how the experience of them will be in the next few years. Another strategy is to promote values and achievements. These give current and past students reasons to take pride in their university, and this allows to create a sense of belonging. This is very important for the current and past students, because it allows to give a sense of belonging to them. They are proud of their colleagues, they are proud of the achievements of the university. So showing this kind of content, it's a way to give value to all their degrees and all to the professional values that the university has to give them. Another strategy is to use storytelling to help students see what is like at your institution. Creating content that features student stories about what is like to attend your institution, and these students can talk about several topics like clubs and extracurricular activities, on-campus events, and off-campus internships and opportunities. This is also very used nowadays, because it helps to show the lifestyle of the university, the lifestyle of all students that study on these higher education institutions. So these strategies are nowadays very much used by institutions. The next strategy is user-generated content. To encourage students to generate content related with the university, organic or with contests. We can give these kinds of encouragement with contests, and promoting some kind of contests to give some prizes to them, create user-generated content. Or people like to see how their university is working, how the university is doing their jobs. So it's very important to encourage students to generate content, because this kind of content will be shared with their colleagues, with their friends, and it will reach other students, other colleagues that don't follow the social media profiles of the higher education institutions. So it will reach much more people than the normal people that follow the social media profiles of the universities. Also, the parents and families are very important, because students like to see that and also parents like to see that the university has like a big family, is like a big family with all students, all the parents, all the people that are related with the students. And on these three examples, we can see that nowadays universities are very nowadays very or give very importance for this kind of approaches, because they want to show the students, the candidates, that the university is like a big family, and they have many people, like for example on this right side on the bottom we have an example of Universidade of Porto, University of Porto, that we have here 6 people that have all studied in the same university, and they are all from the same family, and it shows to this kind of content can show to the candidates that all these elements of this family are satisfied with the courses, with the degrees they took on the university. Also, sharing important updates in real time, it's a strategy that is used nowadays, because nowadays most of users use social media profiles and the social media news feed as the primary news source. Many people use social media like Twitter, like Facebook, to know the news, to have information about the institutions. So it is very important to share important updates in real time with students, with all the followers of the universities. Also, it's very important to have real-time content marketing because this kind of content has a lot of engagement, because it's related to actual events, to events that are occurring at real time. So these are two examples that show that creating content related with the popular culture, with popular events that are occurring at this time have a lot of engagement and are used by many universities all over the world. Another good strategy that is integrating the digital strategy with the offline strategy, like for example, the open days of universities, of higher education institutions, mixing that strategy and combining this strategy with user-generated content strategies. With these events, with these open days, for instance, we can encourage students, encourage candidates to share their experience on these events, so we can reach more people, because we will reach more students, more candidates that are friends or colleagues of these students that participate on these events. So it is a good way of reaching more people and people from the target that we want to reach. And finally, using influencers. Using influencers, it's also nowadays very popular, because influencers are nowadays a way to reach more people, because they have a lot of followers, they have a lot of engagement, and using influencers can promote in a quick way, in a fast way, the university with content that is shared by these people. And using popular influencers in each country, it's a way to reach more people and to create a brand awareness that without this strategy, it's difficult. It's much more difficult to gain. But I think using alumni influencers, it's a better way to promote the university, because alumni help universities to create valuable and personal content that we would not have otherwise been able to capture and share. And these are just 3 examples of universities that use alumni to promote and to share information about their achievements and their experience in the university, and how valuable this content is for universities. It's why people from the departments of communication and marketing of these higher education institutions use, because it's very valuable content for followers, for candidates, and for all the students. So I'm concluding with some final considerations about the benefits of social media content marketing strategies for higher education. These kind of strategies allow a better communication with students and candidates, increases brand awareness of universities, of colleges, higher education institutions, creates a sense of belonging in the students, increases the engagement rate and the conversion rate of the leads that we can have in these posts. It has a better ability to showcase universities' expertise, allow to create user-generated content, and it gives also another way of promoting the word of mouth with the user-generated content that allow us to reach more students, reach more candidates, because when some students promote the university with user-generated content, we are reaching people that don't follow our profile. So we will reach these colleagues and friends from these students that are probably in the same target. So it's very important to have user-generated content from our students and from candidates that participate, for instance, in the open days of universities. And finally, it improves the relationship with all students, the actual students or the current students, and also with the alumni students that we can communicate with this kind of strategy. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope you liked my presentation about digital social media content marketing strategies for higher education. And I think it can help your university, your college, your higher education institution to produce real valuable content and to reach more people, reach more candidates that can apply for your university. Thank you very much and see you next time.